Goldsboro City Council work session is in order, call to order, so we'll start off by roll call. Madam Clerk.
Mayor Ham.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Polak.
Present.
Councilwoman Jones.
Present.
Councilman Broadway.
Present.
Councilwoman Matthews.
Present.
Councilman Gaylor.
Present.
Councilman Batt.
Here.
Okay, we're all here. First thing, after that, a roll call is the adoption of the agenda, and I have a couple of amendments I'd like to, or additions I'd like to add, and then I'll go to the council for your additions or changes if you see fit. I'd like to add the law, let me find it here, the, oh, sorry. Let me get it. National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day proclamation. Today is National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, so I'd like to add that to the agenda under ceremonial documents, and under the following the adoption of the agenda, immediately following, I would like to add the swearing in for the second term of a Mayor Pro Tem. Does any council members have any other additions or changes they'd like to make to the agenda? If not, is there a motion to adopt the agenda as amended?
So moved. Second.
Motion's made and second. All in favor, please show by raising your hand. Okay, motion's approved. Adoption. Changes to the agenda is adopted. So we'll start off the whole business we have with us tonight. Dr. David Taylor of Goldsboro Pediatrics. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Excuse me, David. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Come on,
Swear in the Mayor
Mayor
Pro
Pro
Tem.
Tem. Okay, we will discombobulate here today.
I, Tosh Polak,
Do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
which are and may be established
for the government thereof,
that I will endeavor to support,
maintain, and defend
the Constitution and laws of said state,
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
and that I will faithfully discharge my duties
of my office as Mayor Pro Tem,
of my office as Mayor Pro Tem. So help me God.
Now, Dr. Taylor, come on up, sir.
Go?
Yes, sir, please.
Oh, okay.
Apologize for the mistake there.
What, that's fine. Hi, Dave Taylor, local pediatrician, and I'm here to talk about the homelessness issue. And you may wonder, well, what's that got to do with pediatrics? And true, when I came here in 1977, it was, direct medical services. That's what we did. And there was a tremendous need for primary care. I joined 2 older pediatricians here, and that was all we had. And they ran their practices, and I ran mine. And then I realized that wasn't the way to do it. So we've grown, as you know, to where there are 4 offices and 7 WISH centers, all coordinated by what we do for direct medical services. Over the years, it's become obvious that a lot of the bad things that happen to children that keep them from meeting what we would consider their potential as adults has to do with what's called social determinants of health. So I know back in the 80s we worked on adolescent pregnancy in the schools. That's an example of kind of a social determinant of health. There's a medical part of that, but there's a whole lot of community in that. And that's just an example. As the years rolled by, Goldsboro Pediatrics began to get small grants to study problems. One of them was mental health. One of them was diabetes. One of them was asthma. One of them was Latino child health. And what we could do with these grants is learn how you get the community involved. And so we began to establish community-based coalitions to look at problems. Well, as social determinants of health became a bigger buzzword in the American Academy of Pediatrics, we put together a grant proposal to look at the social determinants of health and how they affect women in prenatal care in the private sector and the public sector. So we pulled a fairly broad group in our community of healthcare professionals, social services, the food insecurity people, the transportation people, the mental health people, and hospital, everybody who had to play. And as we looked at the social determinants of health that affect children, the glaring worst problem we had in Wayne County was housing. So if a woman in prenatal care needed housing, they had to go outside of Wayne County. They were going to Wilson or Smithfield or Raleigh. And we thought that was just unacceptable. At the same time, we learned through this coalition that on any given day, that was 2017, 250 children were certifiably homeless. The definition of homelessness is a little tough. If the child's got a couch to sleep on, it doesn't matter if the parents own the house or lease the house. If they just got shelter, they're not homeless. So I'm not sure how reliable that is. But at any rate, we became concerned, and we had people come talk to us about homelessness, the Salvation Army, the 4-day movement, and we began to learn about that. As I looked at it more and more, the pandemic came. And during the pandemic, Goldsboro Pediatrics received $1.4 million from Medicaid to give to nonprofits in the community that might be affected by the need for more resources during the pandemic. And we met with DJ Coles with 4-day movement, and he showed us a facility over near the old community college campus that was an industrial site. And he thought he could invest in that. And so we gave 4-day movement a pretty good chunk of that money. Well, long story short, the facility didn't work out. And the pandemic just affected everybody. And when I talked to DJ later, a couple of years later, about another facility that looked better, the facility most of us have heard about on Royal Avenue, the old Woodard Retirement Center, I said, well, where's that $150,000? He said, Dr. Taylor, people were in need. It had to go to the people in need. So for all the right reasons, our money went away, and we felt like we were